Whether you're new to running or you're returning after a break, you might well be aware of how encouragingly fast those initial gains can be. It's great, motivation is high and you just can't get enough of it.
Yeah, fast forward a couple of months though, and that progress can start to plateau. That is, unless you have a plan, and that's where we come in.
Adaptation is key. Your body needs new stresses in order to react, adapt and get stronger, and this is the ultimate equation to improving your physical performance, and you would have been maximising that at the start of your running journey. Now if you think about it, you probably remember feeling a little bit sore and probably quite tired after your runs initially, and that's because you're causing micro damage to the muscles, but your bodies are very clever, so as a result of this it's actually going to build back stronger, making your body more efficient at using that oxygen and making you overall stronger, which results in either being able to run faster or run for longer. Let's rewind a moment. Other than feeling a little bit tired and maybe sore, what did you notice about your run training? Now, I bet it was increasing in duration and probably intensity as well. And yes, you would have been adapting quite quickly and improving fast, but I imagine your runs were still not entirely comfortable. Now think about, how do your runs feel now? Do they feel super easy, that you're in your comfort zone, you could do it all day long, and maybe you just really love your running? Well, that is great if this is where you want to stay. However, if you do want to continue progressing your run, you're going to have to continue to stress your body in various ways.
Motivation is key to keep progressing. The why of your running. What do you want to improve? Perhaps you have a specific distance you want to achieve, or perhaps a specific goal race, or perhaps you just have a friend you want to keep up with. Whatever it is, try to make your goal as specific as possible and then set a date for that achievement. Once you have a date and a goal pace and a goal time, you can then work a plan to get there. And remember, your plan should keep increasing gradually, but it might not be completely linear. For example, if your plan is 3 months long and your goal is in 12 weeks time, you might want to do 3 weeks of harder work and building the intensity, and then 1 week easier to absorb that and repeat that cycle 3 times. If your goal is even further in the distance, you may want to break it up into bigger sections where the first half of your training focuses on endurance, and then in the second half you focus more on speed and race pace.
And this leads us on to specificity. There's no point in following a 5K plan if you're trying to train for a half marathon, obviously. Now, you can find something online to guide you or opt for a coach. Obviously, the advantage of having a coach, they can change your training according to how your body's actually coping with it and adapting. Plus, you'll get the added motivation by the fact you're paying someone to give you that program. You're more likely to do all of your sessions. If you are going to make your plan yourself, then you're going to need to make sure you include some work on pace, as in at your target race pace. Now, you want to look at doing 1, or if you're doing 5 or more runs a week, potentially 2 sessions that include race pace work. But that doesn't mean the whole session at race pace. You want to be breaking it down into blocks where you can focus running at that pace with natural rests in between and building it up as you get closer to your race. And talking of building it up and making it relevant to the race, you need to do the same with your distance. You actually want to be trying to get close to covering your race distance, or that is up until a half marathon. But once you get to a marathon, you're not going to be doing actually that close to that distance in training because it's just too much. Instead, you need to look at increasing that weekly volume.
Variation is your friend. Mixing up your running will help both your mind and your body. I'm not just talking about the sessions that you do, but also the terrain you run on, who you run with, where you run, and of course, the pace changes. For example, hilly runs will get you strong, off-road runs will work your core and your stabilizers, and running with friends will help distract you, especially on those longer runs. On the topic of variation, we've obviously talked about how you should do some race pace work, but you also need to work the other zones and intensities. And often the most overlooked one is the easy pace or the aerobic pace. When you're training, you need to train all the zones and intensities, build up that aerobic base. And we spoke about how you need to adapt with various different stresses. But you don't want to overstress your body. You need to allow that adaptation to happen. And this is where the easy run comes in, because it allows for aerobic adaptation without overstressing your body. If you do your easy run too hard, it will actually overstress you and slow down your adaptation and progression. Beyond the easy run, you also need to do other intensities such as high intensity stuff like hill reps and strides to improve your neuromuscular recruitment, and steady state or threshold stuff to improve your aerobic capacity. It's all about increasingly stressing your body to lead to adaptation and keep you progressing.
And other sports can actually complement, but this does depend where you're at already, because it's a bit of a fine line. If you're a triathlete and you really want to focus on improving your run and taking it to the next level, you might need to look at reducing your cycling, as this isn't actually going to complement your running and could be holding you back. Yes, you'll get a bit of an aerobic benefit from the base training, but beyond that, it's just different muscle groups. Swimming, however, can still be really beneficial, as it can help with recovery with your runs, as long as you're not getting too tired from doing it all. On the other end of the spectrum, if at the moment all you're doing is running, well, you could look at adding in a little bit of training on the elliptical and again some swimming, just to help build that base whilst taking the impact out of your legs. And irrespective of your other sports, adding in running specific strength training will help to make you more resilient, stronger, and be able to tolerate more load, which all in all will end up being able to make you a more efficient runner.
Finally, it's about getting the balance right. If you're currently doing low volume and low intensity and you want to keep improving, you're going to have to start putting in a bit more hard work. It's dedication and time that will pay off in the long run.
Well, that said, if you're watching this and you're thinking, well, I'm already doing a lot of volume and I've got quite a lot of high intensity, but I'm not seeing any more progression, it could be that you're risking overtraining and you're just not having enough rest and time for your body to repair. If this does sound like you, then make sure you prioritize those rest days and also make sure that your easy runs are actually easy.
We hope you've enjoyed this video, and if it's helped you, hit that thumbs up button to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe to all of our GTN videos.